Jeez. Now I know how my aunt feels when she has to take care of my grandpa. Friends Forever gives us a slice of aged apple pie this month with Friends Forever 27 starring Granny Smith and Pinkie Pie. Cider season is around the corner and the apples need all hooves on deck to be ready in time, but when Granny Smith busts a hip, Pinkie Pie volunteers to be her assistant/caretaker so the old mayor can finish all her errands, a prospect that she isn't very excited about. And I don't blame her for... Nah, that joke was way too easy. So what's good? The first thing I noticed when I started reading this comic was that the art looked somewhat different from Agnes Garboska's previous works because the colors seemed brighter than they usually were. So when I turned back to the opening credits, I saw that, in this issue, Garboska received assistance from Lauren Perry for the colors. While the trade-off is that the backgrounds ended up looking a little flat and we do lose a bit of texture in the colors, it's nice to see a more vibrant color palette. And despite my earlier joke, Pinkie's pretty harmless here. She serves as Granny's loyal servant, personal assistant, and helps her with whatever she needs. They get some nice moments together and all in all it's a cute story, but that brings me to what's not so good. While the comic was pretty harmless, at the same time it didn't offer much besides the nice fluff. What it does well, but it doesn't do much either. As I was reading through this, I thought about Granny Smith's behavior throughout the story, how she was stubbornly refusing help from others, even from her loved ones, and how she even tries to get Pinkie, for lack of a better word, fired just so she wouldn't have her around anymore. At first glance, this seems like the comic is taking Granny Smith's stubbornness a little overboard for the sake of teaching her a lesson in a way that was somewhat similar to AJ's exaggerated protectiveness in Some Pony to Watch Over Me. But after pondering this for a little while longer, I looked at it a bit differently. We all know that Granny Smith has lived for quite a long time. It's more than safe to say that she spent a good number of decades being an independent, self-sufficient mare. But now, that independence is taken away from her just like that. From what I've learned in conversations with my own grandmother, having the ability to take care of yourself ripped away from you in an instant can take a huge toll on you mentally. And different people handle it in different ways. Some may accept it as a part of life, some may fall into a depression, and others, like Granny Smith, may actively fight against it, refusing to give up their autonomy. The reason why I'm saying all this is because it would have been great to see the comic tackle at least some of these ideas and themes, and Granny Smith would have been the perfect character to do this with because she's part of a family where everyone in it works hard and contributes on some level. So for her, not only would she feel helpless, but useless as well. Some of my favorite Friends Forever moments have been the ones where we get insight into one of the characters' feelings, or when both starring characters come to understand one another, or both. They're the moments that make their respective issues much more than what they initially appear to be, and I feel that this comic was missing that. Friends Forever 27 was a serviceable issue. If you're just looking for a cute story with Pinkie and the apples, then this comic will definitely have you covered. And that's perfectly fine. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more than that, I'm afraid you won't find it here. Next month's issue will feature Luna and the CMC, and it'll be the first comic that takes place after the second half of Season 5. Or at the very least, after Crusaders of the Lost Mark. So what did you think of Friends Forever 27? Swarm that comment section below or bug me on social media, and consider supporting me through Patreon or PayPal art commissions. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.